Campbell gets rolling. Montesi, I think, spun him. That's going to give the 14 that spot. Montesi's in a little bit of trouble here with the 47. He's not going to be able to open the truck up anywhere near what he'd like to. And he's going to lose that spot, cycle back to 5th. I'm sorry, that's the 4th rather. Shannon Wood up to 5th. We look a little further back, and we've got some drivers we've not talked a whole lot about here tonight. Alan Marshall up in this group. Eli Raposa sitting in a top 10 situation right now. To go back up front, though, Joey Gentina sitting P2, but it's the man of the hour, the 44. Glenn Campbell leading here, has led the most laps tonight, has looked like a powerhouse. Very consistent, comfortable in the truck. Hasn't really shown any real weakness. He's kept the truck underneath him all night. Can he do that for another 14 laps or so here in Dover? These laps are going to go quick here as we ride on board. Look at the bumper there of the 14's Ford F-150. These two running fairly similar styles, very consistent, even on the wheel, even on inputs, as Gentina closes just a little bit there. Gentina drives it off into the corner just a little bit deeper. Now down to half a truck lead. Nobody has really been able to get, no! What happened there? Gentina had the run, bouncing off the outside wall a little bit, and then the 44 just pretty much blocked it. Gentina's gonna stack it up again, look to the inside. This is a fight for the lead right here. Off of turn 4, that's the first time I've seen anybody be able to make a pass for the lead, and that is going to be Joey Gentina, your new leader here in Dover. In the nick of time here, he's going to have 10 to go. At the stripe, and Campbell fading fast. What happened to the 44? I hope that's not the broadcaster curse. I spoke just a lap and a half ago how fast, oh, Campbell gets into the wall. I spoke just a lap or two ago how he could not be faced. He was a rock on track. He just looked strong and nobody really had the same pace, but now Campbell in a little bit of a hurt here as Hudson closes in on the back bumper. He's at the risk of losing a top 3 position here in the last 4 laps, and the caution's out. Brandon Grant is sideways across turn number 2. And that is going to bring the caution out here once again. Let's take a look one more time at what happened here. Okay. I don't know what I would call that. Let's take one more look here. Yep, that. Well, a racing incident here, bringing out the caution once again at Dover with Gentina out front. Montesi, Campbell, Hudson, Shannon Wood, your top 5. Let me tell you something. There's somebody on track right now that I think we should all be thinking about. All should be considering on this restart. Because I do believe he has the freshest tires on track. If anybody wants to take a quick guess before I mention it. But there's a driver here in the top 7 that has new tires. Has been running really good. And that's going to be Brian Wortman. He's got those new tires. He's up here. He's up 11 spots on the night, running 6th. Came down pit road lap number 91. And, well, he's got Shannon Wood out front, Joe Hudson. Those guys, they came down pit road 81. Glenn Campbell came down pit road 71. That's why Campbell's having some issues. So this will be interesting to see how this all shakes out. I didn't even think about the fact that right there shows you that that move to stay out right there in that middle caution right there around lap 69, 70 paid dividends for Joey Jettina. Just those 10 laps put him in a good enough track position to lead laps here at the very end of Dover. Again, I would be a fool to not mention Sim500.com one more time here tonight. If you want to come racing with the big boys, come hang out. They race 3 to 4 nights a week in all different types of different disciplines and cars. That's the B car, the O'Reilly car, the Cup car, and the trucks. Here on Thursday night, you want to go racing with some of iRacing's best in terms of just participation, great league, great personalities. Stiff competition, but respectable competition. Head on over to sim500.com. Take a look at the schedule. Take a look at the groups. Get registered. Go racing. Jettina out front. And he's going to take the inside. I did not expect this. Mike Montesi is going to have the outside. This could be interesting. This is the first time our leader tonight has elected to take that inside line. We saw Glenn Campbell really make some difference on that outside on restarts. But Joey Jettina says he's got something for him on the inside. He's going to have to hold him off for 5 laps. You thought it's been mayhem before. It's about to get sporty. Pace cars down pit road. Into the restart zone they go. Back green here at Dover. Somehow, Jettina gets clear. Montesi's under fire. That's Hudson. Hudson's also got some new tires. He came down lap number 91. Closing in on Jettina's tailgate. 4 to go. Right there to the bumper. Hudson's going to look to the inside. He's going to have the grip. Slide in underneath him. New leader, Joe Hudson. They're going to come across the stripe. C3 to go. I don't know if that could be more perfectly executed by Hudson. A great pass to get by. Gonna come and see the 2 to go here. Jettina settling into second. Brian Wortman back there. He's gonna be underneath Glenn Campbell. This could be a top 3 finish out of Wortman. Can he get to Montesi? Hudson right down to the very bottom of the racetrack. Off the corner. He's gonna see the white flag one more time around here in Dover. Off the backstretch, no competition. Pit strategy and grip being key here to the success. Look at that. Winner number 9. 9 races, 9 winners. Joe Hudson brings home the checkered flag. It's Thursday night. That means we're going truck racing with the NC811 limited series here on Turn 1. Hello, everybody. I'm Sean Fitz. Thanks so much for being here. You heard it during the last week race replay right here on Turn 1, kicking off the broadcast a little early and highlighting the last laps at Dover. It has been 9 races, and we've had 9 different winners so far this season. Will we make it number 10 here tonight? I tell you what, it is entirely possible. The amount of talent and the racecraft that's coming out of this field is something else. And I was actually talking to the boss man, Joey Gentina, this afternoon, and he's talking about running it back on the Cup side on a Sunday afternoon race. We'll see how that all looks out. I think it could be really interesting to see what these limited guys can get done in the Cup machines. They're rolling off the grid here in Chicagoland. It is going to be 110 laps of racing action here. Richard Swavely's going to start on the pole here tonight. Then it's Glenn Campbell, Robert Barber, Cody DeForge, Johnny Parker, Shannon Wood, Mike Montesi is going to start in that 7th place position. Jason Wiley, Scott Formosa, and Joshua Barr, your top 10. Some repeat winners so far in that top 10 if they can get it done here in Chicago. Then it's Kevin Stone, John Fowler, Stoney Benfield, Landon Auden, Steve Ritter, Brandon Garand, Troy Hates going to start 17th, Casey Duckins 18th, Brian Workman and Vincent Short going to round out the first 20 trucks. Rod Millum, Dustin Cogan, DeAndre Kane, Eli Raposa, Reba Kane, Joey Gentina, Ron Holyfield, Alan Marshall's going to start 29th, Doug Roth 30th, and then it's Doug Sigmund and a couple others, but we're green. We're getting ready to go green here. Pace car is off. And in the zone they go. Green flag is out. Richard Swavely gets them rolling tonight here in Chicago. Off down into 1 and 2 here for the first time tonight. Getting these trucks up to speed. 2 and 3 wide back there for third. 4 wide coming down the back stretch. They get it sorted out to 2 as they get to turn number 3. Out front, Swavely's going to lead lap number 1. Glenn Campbell is going to stay right where he is, but Robert Barber's going to look right underneath Campbell there, that nose poking into the inside, trying to add a little bit of downforce. To the front of that 83 is Barber. And then back behind him, this is where all the craziness was. That was Cody DeForge. Johnny Parker's going to dive or go all high there. Here comes Mike Montesi down on the bottom. That's Johnny Parker, Jason Wiley. 3 wide, they're going to fan out all the way to the apron. This is back here, okay, Mitch and fighting for about 7th on back as the truck's down on the apron. Meanwhile, back out front, Swavely puts a fast lap up. Glenn Campbell starts to drive forward a little bit within a truck length or so of Campbell. Barber settling into 3rd. Now Shannon Wood. Oh, and the caution's out. Looking for it here. We got Doug Roth a little slow, and Reba Caton is stopped on the apron. So is the 27 of Ron Holyfield. Let's go back and see if we can find out what may have happened back here. Holyfield, 3 wide. Oh, well, Reba Caton was coming down. Ron was coming up, and they found the same place on the racetrack here at Chicago to bring the caution out for the first time here tonight. Working lap number 5. Again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in here this evening. Again, I'm Sean Fitz. Appreciate you watching Turn 1. This group, we are past, we're closing in on the, it's tonight actually. Tonight's the halfway point of this NC811 limited series here on Turn 1. Let's talk about that limited aspect very quickly. These drivers in this field are all part of the Sim 500 group. You can check that group out and get joined up and go register to race at sim500.com. But these drivers, all part of this group, all part of this league, and the hard cap for an I rating is a 3,000. So you've got to have under a 3,000 I rating to come run with this group. And it is turned into some incredibly exciting and fun racing all up and down the racetrack and all sorts of different types of disciplines and racetracks. Whether it be Chicago, Dover last week, we go to Daytona next week. We've also seen some shorter tracks. We've also seen some more technical tracks. So it's been a lot of fun to watch these guys put on a show each and every week. While we're under caution, let's take a quick look here at our season standings last week. Didn't really shake things up a whole lot, at least from the lead. Robert Barber continues to lead, but now just 3 points separate Barber from Steve Ritter. Troy Hayden is 9 points back off the lead. Mike Montesi is now 20 points off the lead. Had a pretty strong night. Joe Hudson's win last week brought him up 5 positions in the points, and he is looking to surpass Joey Jettina to break into the top 5, currently sitting 6th. We were just talking about Shannon Wood. He's sitting right there in that 4th place spot. He's up a couple spots this evening so far. We got some Shannon Wood fans in the chat, so thanks so much for being here. They're hoping Shannon can bring home a checkered flag. A driver that's been in a little bit of a struggle. That's Johnny Barker. He started up there in that top 5, but unfortunately that driver of that number 6 Toyota Tundra just cannot. He's been up on the high side and maybe not wanting to get there too far into some of the traffic. He is down a couple spots now, sitting. He's going to restart in that 10th place position. We'll keep a close eye on that story. Hopefully he can arrest that fall through the field and work his way back towards the front. Pace car lights are off. That means we're going to go back green flag racing here in about half a lap or so. They're all single or double filed up. Swavely's going to pick the bottom. Swavely right now, he's having a pretty competitive season, just not able to materialize it into the points position. He's actually sitting 7th right now. We got to win 3 top 3s, or 3 top 5s, 3 top 10s, but 35 points out from the lead. He's going to see that pace car duck down pit road. Can he walk away here with some more laps led? We're going to find out. Back green here in Chicago. Two sets of tires in the pits. That's why we didn't see really anybody in the top 10 come down pit road. Meanwhile, Montesi's going to look underneath Campbell. Here comes Justin Wiley underneath Shannon Wood. And Barber, he's going to challenge here. He's going to lead now. What I do believe, we've got to fight for the lead. Barber not unknown for a little bit of putting it out on the edge. Takes it right to the bottom, completes the pass. New leader, the 83 of Robert Barber. Lynn Campbell liked what he's seen. He wants to take advantage here of Swavely and some dirty air for the first time. Dove it in there, not able to get anything done in 3 and 4. Barber goes all the way down to the apron, looking for as much possible grip as he can get. That's going to give Swavely the opportunity to take that outside line. This track races a lot like Auto Club. Races very similar, where that outside groove can turn into some momentum. Oh, the caution's out again. Oh, we've got several trucks spun here. That's on the entrance of 3. That's Doug Roth slow. Stoney Benfield's going to squeeze by. What happened here to bring this caution out? This looks like this happened around Cody DeForge. 2 and 3. 3 wide there. Just that was even coming down the backstretch. Nowhere really to go for a lot of these guys. I'm not quite sure what was going on up there with Cody DeForge. That nearly collected the 14. Oh, a big impact for the 46. He had nowhere to go. That's going to bring the caution out here for the second time as Swavely was able to regain the lead. We're working lap 11 here. Under caution for the NC811 Truck Series, the limited group here on turn 1. While we're under caution, now's a great time. If you're on Facebook or you're on YouTube, do me a favor. Thumbs up the stream, like it if you haven't. Give us a follow or a sub on YouTube. Get connected. We are racing for the next, we're racing all the way through June with the NC811 Limited Series here on Thursday nights on turn 1. You're not going to want to miss a single lap of that. We're really close to hitting some big milestones across both platforms. So we'd appreciate it if you would tune in. We're going to step aside for just a moment. You're watching Turn 1. Pace car lights are off. We're getting ready to go back. Green flag racing here to take lap number 14. Richard Swavely is going to start on the inside. Robert Barber on the outside, row 1. Then Shannon Wood, Glenn Campbell, row 2. Mike Montesi and Jason Wiley in that third row. Going to restart 6th. We'll see, hopefully we see a little bit of a green flag run here. We'll be able to showcase how exciting this track can be. We'll also do some rotting on board, but first, we got to get a restart out of the way. Green flag back out here at Chicagoland. Swavely free and clear. You know who did not get a great start there? That's the 83 of Barber. He's going to lose 2 spots on the restart as they work out a 2, and he's actually under pressure. Here comes Montesi and Wood. The 83 is going to slide down. Look underneath Wiley. Then Glenn Campbell's going to go down. Take the air off the 83. The 83 is going to get tight. That truck slid up the racetrack. Montesi's going to look underneath. 3 wide across the stripe. Montesi was not able to get clear of the 83. Down the backstretch they go. Swavely out front by 2 truck lengths. But Glenn Campbell right in his tire tracks on quarter entry there. As they come across the stripe here, up to speed once again. 110 laps here, up for grabs, and you've got to manage the truck. We're going to see him come down pit road right around lap 45 or so. So about 30 more laps. We'll see these guys come down. Remember, 2 sets of tires, but only, I believe it's limited to a 75% fuel load. So that's actually the limiting factor. That gives these drivers a little bit of an opportunity to really get on the gas and start making some moves. These tires are going to start to equalize out. As a matter of fact, they already have. These tires are certainly going to fall off at a track like this. And you heard me talk about it during the caution. It races very similar to Auto Club, very similar to Kansas, very similar to Kentucky. Just a very wide, that cookie cutter type of racetrack. But I tell you what, they've aged really well putting these types of tracks together, and it produces some exciting racing, and even more so here with this NC811 limited group. You know, one thing I have learned over the many years of doing this is to never count a driver out, and I should have known better. Robert Barber, he's got it squared back up and pointed in the right direction. He was looking underneath Wiley down the backstretch. He's moved back into 4th. The 83 truck, we have seen him lead countless laps over the years, or over the many months, and all throughout 2025 here on turn 1. And now, doing it on Thursday nights here with this limited group. Cannot underestimate the talent there as he closes into the left rear of Wiley. Can't quite get there off the quarter. Meanwhile, the 44, we talked about, or we saw that replay at the beginning of the broadcast. The 44 just did not have the right tire strategy, was looking for a win at Dover, was not able to get it done. But so far, qualified second, running second here so far in Chicago, and looking pretty sharp in that 44 truck. But that in that rear view mirror, Jason Wiley Barber and Robert Barber getting a little big, and you've got to decide when you want to focus on the tires, and that's going to shake some things up. Looking for it. That's Reba Caton again. He is very slow down the backstretch. Let's take a quick look, find out what may have happened here. Oh, Caton just slow. I don't know if, not quite sure if he blew up or what happened. Yeah, he was slow down the backstretch and just doesn't get rolling. I suspect league admins are going to have something to say about that before it's all said and done. He is on pit road and probably parked for the night as these drivers get checked up and under caution here early at Chicago. We're going to step aside. I suspect we will see some folks come down pit road. We're going to see some tire gambles. We're talking about that tire situation. Keep in mind, they've ran of these 20 laps, they've ran about 10 of them under caution. And lap times have fallen off over a second and a half over about 11 to 12 green flag laps. So that's going to be something to think about. Who comes down pit road? Who stays out? Well, we'll find out real quick here. It looks like everybody in the top 10 is coming to town to the attention of their crew and hitting pit road. Joshua Barr elects to stay out. I don't know if that was intentional or not. Troy Haight also does the same. We'll see how this all plays out. We'll talk more about it when we come back. You're watching Turn 1. Pace car is going to dip back down pit road. Josh Barr, Troy Haight both stayed out. This is going to be exciting up at the front. Green flag back out. Again, not a ton of green flag laps on these tires, but already a second and a half delta. Josh Barr is going to break out here pretty quick. He's going to have clean air. That's going to keep him out front for a little while longer. Meanwhile, though, Haight did not have that clean air advantage, and he has already fallen back to fourth as they come down the backstretch. Swavely running down. Barr off a four there, 3 wide back behind him. Barr is going to go all the way down to the bottom. He wants to take as much air off the nose of Swavely as he can. He's going to hold on to the lead at least down the front stretch. Swavely's going to run about a lane higher. We're going to see him really build up some speed down the backstretch. Can he do anything with it before he gets to 3? Swavely's going to look underneath him. Swavely's going to have the grip to stay down there. But Barr is going to be able to rotate off and open up the truck a bit better. He's going to lead another one. This is not what Swavely wanted to do, though. He does not want to linger here. He wanted to complete this pass as they're nearly side by side, evenly through the corner. Campbell now right there in the rear view. He is trying to follow Swavely through this hole, but Barr cannot, or will not, or is not, rather. Swavely is not able to get around Barr. Wow, what a move by Barr. That just shows you what that clean air could do. He only needs to hang on about 10 laps and these tires will start to equalize a good bit. As a matter of fact, Troy Haight, he is stabilized there in that 5th place position. It is a 3-truck run there for second. And it is Glenn Campbell, Swavely, and Barber. This is what Barr wanted to see in his rear view. Swavely goes high. I think Barber nearly got into the wall there. If he didn't, it was very close. If this strategy works for Josh Barr, it could be the story of the night. He's only going to be about 15, 18 laps short on fuel against the rest of these guys. But what he has done now is put himself in a position to take tires late in this race. Swavely back down to the very bottom on the inside. He may have him this time coming through the corner. Swavely continues to drive down to that bottom right there above that, that white line. But Barr's just going to have the horsepower, and Swavely can't open the truck up, and as a matter of fact, Swavely may be hurting himself more trying to chase Barr down on that bottom line, burning up that right front. Taking a look a little further back, Shannon Woods, middle of 3 wide there. That's not what the Shannon Wood fans want to see. That was Ritter and Haight side by side with him. Haight's going to slide back. Wood on the outside, Ritter on the inside. Montesi's back behind him as well. This is back here for 6th. I think one thing to note here is that these guys are going to have to come down pit road. Oh, things got tight there for a second. That was a 3-wide run. That was Barber, Swavely, and Campbell nearly making contact right there. 3 wide for second. Working lap number 31 here, coming to 32. The guys that just came down pit road, they're going to have to stretch this out quite a bit. They're going to need to run to every bit of lap, I'm going to say 70 before they come down pit road. So they've got a little bit of a headwind here to one-stop the rest of this race. Meanwhile, Haight right now, who actually just fell to 8th place with Mike Montesi getting around him. And then Barr, we're going to see them come down pit road here in the next 15 laps or so. And then they're going to be in prime position. They can They'll have to one stop at the very end and pick up the extra tires. It's going to be interesting to see how this all shakes out once it's said and done. Meanwhile, though, Barr is really loving what he's seeing here. He's going to catch up to with some lap traffic. I believe that's Cody DeFord. She's been involved in an incident tonight, probably a little slow in that machine. But Barr enjoying this clean air. Just as I mentioned, they get a couple laps into this green flag run. Tires are going to start to stabilize, and everybody's going to start to equal out. Well, you're seeing that here. That new on those, that good off them good years is scrubbed off, and well, these drivers now having to really find their way around the racetrack and find what works best for them as they have to worry about or work around Cody DeForge. And the Barr continues to actually now drive away nearly 5/10 back or out front here of Swavely, and that's Barber battling it out for second. We've got some Shannon Wood fans in the chat, so let's ride on board with him for a lap here around Chicagoland. Is he back here? He's back here battling for fifth. Three wide back here. That's Wood, Ritter, and Joey Jatina up in this mix. Meanwhile, now I figured things out just a little bit. This is all starting to make a little more sense. Josh Barr came down pit road lap 11. I'm wondering if he may have taken those tires that first set at that point. That's very possible. I will also tell you, it looks like a lot of drivers either took ride sides or fuel only. I'm going to say ride sides. That is what's got everybody hanging on here. So we can see Barr, if he took fuel lap 11, he likely would not need to come down pit road till about lap 55 to 60. And right now, working lap number 39, so we got a little ways to go. Single filed out for one of the first times here tonight in the top 10. Let's go back here, or the top 5. Let's go back here to 11. That's Kevin Stone, DeAndre Kane up here. Out the windshield. It's 2 and 3 wide. They are battling out really hard up here. This racetrack, like I mentioned earlier, races a lot like Auto Club, a lot like Kansas, Kentucky, those types of racetracks. But man, it's Charlotte even in some ways. A little flatter, obviously, but you spend a lot of time side by side with somebody. You can run 4 wide here in the quarters pretty easily, 3 wide very easily, and a lot of different lane choices. The NC811.org limited series is a fixed setup group, so it's all about driver craft. What can you do to make the truck drive better, run better, feel better? You cannot make really any adjustments down pit road. Speaking of adjustments, I think we may have our adjustment of the leader. Josh Barr on the outside, Swavely on the inside. Swavely has led a good portion of laps here, but came down pit road lap number 21 after that caution came out. He's going to be credited with the lead that last time by. Josh Barr still on that outside line, but it looks like he is going to settle into second place with Glenn Campbell underneath him, as we have a new leader here on lap number 42 is Richard Swavely. Yeah, I was looking for him. You heard me talk about him just a few moments ago. That was Joey Gentina. Well, he's on the bottom of 3 wide. Whoa, that was contact there with Barber and Formosa. That was a very interesting event there coming down the backstretch. But anyway, Joey Gentina sitting in that 6th place spot, obviously being able to leverage some of these cautions in the pit strategy to play in his favor. He's also a short pit on lap number 21. It looks like it was a fuel only, maybe 2 tires on the right side. He is currently sitting 6th right now. Actually looking to run down. I'm sorry, that's 4th. They're going to 3rd. Sorry about that. And that puts Joey up 23 spots on the night. We've heard Gentina talk about it over the last couple weeks, how being disappointed with a 2nd place, 3rd place finish is the story of his season. He's won a race, and then next week after, had it all but won. Had some connectivity problems. We saw him lead at Dover. Well, he is working his way forward here at Chicago. Middle of the race. Speaking of down pit road and stopping here, that's Robert Barber. Down pit road, full service in the box for that driver. Tires and fuel. We got another driver coming down pit road. That's Brian Wortman. That was a full stop for Robert Barber, so he's going to be the first of that top 5 group to come down. 4 tires and fuel, trying to short pit it up, see what that could do from a timing perspective. As they're still 3 wide back there battling around. That's Formosa. Who do we got here? We've got Formosa, Brandon Garand, Josh Barr. He has fallen back to 6th. Joey now looking underneath Glenn Campbell. Side by side down the backstretch. That 14 has looked stout. That livery on that truck looks really clean. And like I said, it's gotten a lot of broadcast time. Gentina's been up front. He's led some laps and looking pretty slick there in the 14 truck as he tried to suck the air off the left rear of Campbell. Formosa's not, he's not going anywhere. He's still right here in the picture. That's Garand right behind him. Garand looked like he was going to fire off this season pretty strong. Oh, he gets into the back of Formosa. They get loose. Formosa was able to save and took the truck way down to the bottom line. Meanwhile, Gentina still battling Glenn Campbell in the 44. Garand's going to come down into the picture now. Swavely, though, he's out front. Oh, it's going to get tight back here for a second. Hey, and that's Gentina right there. He's bowing out. He says, no, gentlemen, I don't want any part of this 3-wide mess. I'll catch you on the flip. He backed it up, and Josh Barr is going to squeeze by. Gentina's got to get resettled in here. That was Garand and Campbell with Gentina trying to make that pass, and Garand was like, hey, I'm going to make it a party here, gentlemen. That could have been interesting. Back out front, we were talking about Swavely. Took the lead back here about 10 laps ago. And right now, sitting 0.6 of a second in the lead We got a truck. We got a couple trucks down pit road now. Josh Barr is going to come down. So will Troy Haight. Remember, those two only down pit road, lap 11. So this is scheduled for them. That is going to be full service as we're working a longer green flag run here tonight at Chicagoland for the NC811.org limited series here on turn 1. That was Robert Barber, just drove by Glenn Campbell like he was sitting still. But remember, Barber came down pit road. He's got those newer tires, and he is on rails right now. He's got some grip, and he's going to use it here. He's going to dive underneath our leader, but that will be for position. That is just to get the lap back. Meanwhile, Swavely continues to pull away another 10th over Brandon Garand. Garand's going to squeeze by Glenn Campbell for second. Formosa settled into fourth. Jatina is settled back into fifth. We saw that truck maybe lose a little bit of speed after that 3-wide action there that he got into, but was able to recover nicely. And again, I suspect we'll see a lot of these drivers here down pit road in the next 10, 15 laps here. That's Casey Duncan. Stoney Benfield back here for 17th, side by side, working through 3 and 4. These two been racing pretty hard for the last couple laps. Meanwhile, Dustin Cogan, Jason Wiley come down pit road to the attention of their crew. Benfield able to shut the door here on Casey Duncan. Here comes Ron Millam. He's going to try to make a run here, too, before this pit sequence comes back through. Man, Swavely is just on fire here tonight. This would be a really, really good statement if Swavely can walk out of here with a checkered flag. He's still got a long way to go to get it done, as they were 3 wide there coming across the stripe. That's Formosa, Jatina, Campbell right there, with a couple lap trucks as well. I believe that's Steve Ritter coming up through there. Is that Mr. Ritter? Maybe not. Oh, and we're going to have Campbell down pit road. That was definitely Ritter there. Meanwhile, Glenn Campbell, he's going to come to the attention of his crew. This is, I would say this is a smidge early for the group that came down lap 21. Either way, he's down pit road. 3 wide there. This is for the lead. As a matter of fact, that's Swavely. Oh, I'm sorry, no, that's not. That is lap trucks going by Swavely. I was wondering what we missed there. Down pit road, it looks like Montesi's going to come to the attention of his crew. Kevin Stoll, Doug Sigmund's going to be down too. That's James Smith also hitting pit road. So green flag pit stops fully in view here. Lap number 57 as we work the halfway point here tonight for the NC811.org limited series here on turn 1. I'm Sean Fitz. Thank you so much for being here. Listen, don't forget, next week we go to the beach. We're going super speedway racing here on Thursday night with the NC811.org truck series here. We're going to go to Daytona, do some super speedway racing under the lights. Don't want to miss a lap of that action. And you can catch it all right here on turn 1, 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central, next Thursday night. Garand is going to hit pit road. So will Joe Hudson, Doug Roth. All going to hit pit road for their service. Swavely, he is out and gone by 2 seconds over Formosa. He has not come down pit road just yet. Joey Jatina is going to come to the attention of his crew. He'll bring Johnny Barker, Stoney Benfield with him. Casey Duncan will also join him as congestion on pit road continues to elevate a little bit. But that is only going to leave 6 trucks left to come down pit road. I'm impressed with Swavely's pace here. Not only has he stayed out, but he has been able to pull away, but that's going to be it. Swavely's going to come down. for the attention of his crew. He's got to get that truck checked up, and he'll bring a couple others. That's Formosa with him, DeAndre Kane, Shannon Wood down pit road. So this is going to sequence things out here with the exception of Vincent Short. Vincent's, I see some smoke there on track. Not sure what that was about. Vincent Short does not come down pit road just yet. Last lap on 21, so you're going to see him come down right there. So that is going to hand over the lead. That's Robert Barber now. That'll pick up the lead here, and he is out front. 3 seconds over Ritter, but keep in mind, he came down pit road 2 laps before Ritter, and then Ritter came down a couple laps there before everybody else. But so Swavely, he came down a whole 15 laps later than Robert Barber. So what Barber wants to see here is this run another 10 or 15 or so, and then a yellow come out as Short's going to be down pit road, or coming off pit road rather. New leader after the green flag pit stops, and leveraging some strategy to his benefit here, Robert Barber. Ritter sitting P2, then Josh Barr sitting P3. Troy Haight is sitting 4th. Mike Montesi is 5th. Swavely 6th right now. Brandon Garand is sitting 7th. They're getting a little racy back here. That's Glenn Campbell. Dustin Kogan, it's 3 wide. "28 trucks on this 36 truck field on the lead lap. So we're well past halfway tonight here at Chicago. And now this is where you got to cruise. If you're somebody like Swavely, you're somebody like Brandon Garand, you just got to settle in. You got to click some laps off here. There's no point in getting in too much of a hustle. You know, you're pretty much, as long as you didn't have a big issue in the pits, you know where you are on track and how this is all going to cycle out, but you cannot burn the tires off. And everybody that came down, we're going to have to, well, let's put it this way, as Formosa's going to squeeze by everybody here. He is going to move up into that 9th place position. But if you obviously, everybody is going to have to come down pit road at least one more time for a splash of gas. I don't see anybody making it 50 full laps and or more than that. So we'll have to see another round of pit stops. But some of these drivers may not have tires. We saw some of them come down lap 21. That could have been a splash for fuel, but I suspect that was actually for right sides. Either way, that is going to be a story we'll have to pay close attention to, especially if we continue to see this longer green flag run pan out. We were talking about Barber. Remember, he came down about 10, 15 laps before really anybody else in the top 10. Well, guess what? Steve Ritter starting to run down and close the gap a little bit. It was 3 seconds when this all panned out. Now it's about 2. Josh Barr's up there as well. Haight and Swavely, or Montesi rather, but Swavely is only 10 seconds back. This will be the gap we'll want to pay close attention to over the next several laps and see how much speed those newer tires and those extra laps of staying out is going to pay dividends for the driver of the 32. Let's ride on board here with Garand. Actually, let's ride on board with Troy Haight. We're not getting him, we're not talking about him too much tonight. Let's do a lap here around Chicago with the 28 truck. We saw Joey Tatina drive around Haight there pretty, I won't say effortlessly, but I'll call it effortlessly. That's, and they both came down. I'm sorry, Haight came down. That is 8 lap newer tires on the 14 of Jatina. He's going to work himself back into a top 10 position. And now looking underneath Kevin Stowe, the 14 truck on his way back forward. Speaking of, we'll look back up front, and that's the 83 of Barber. And that is the 61 of Steve Ritter. Getting a little bigger in the rear view now. Ran that gap down to 1 second. Ritter is starting to reel in Barber. You know, we were talking about Swavely and what that gap was like for that driver. Well, he is sitting back there in 4th still. He's worked his way forward, now closing in within 4 seconds of our leader here. As we work lap number 71. And these laps are quickly ticking off here. This race will be over before you know it. And Barber, remember, he came down pit road. Lap number 44 was one of the first to really kick off that green flag cycle there in the 83. We've seen him be really fast pretty much all season long, and not afraid to get out there and make some moves. And now sitting up front, but quickly, the Steve Ritter truck is starting to advance. Back behind him, Josh Barr is starting to turn up the wick a little bit, looking to the outside of Swavely. Remember, Richard Swavely, he's got some solid results here this season. He's already won a race. And looking to be the first driver to make a repeat out of this season. As we were talking about at the top of the broadcast, 9 races, 9 different winners. And I want to just echo that sentiment. You know how difficult that is? These drivers have gone week over week, done a lot of different types of racing, all the way from Phoenix to Atlanta to Daytona to Chicago to Michigan, Dover, just all sorts of different disciplines and different running styles. It has been mostly exceptional green flag racing up and down the field here. As we look ahead, Ritter has now pretty much caught Robert Barber. But throughout all of that and all of those points, 9 full races this season and 9 completely different winners here. So eventually we will have, I'm sure, a repeat at some point. It'll be really fun to watch as we wrap up the halfway point here tonight. And who can bring home the point standings and what that could look like as we get closer to the end of the season now. As that is, oh, wow. That is Ritter there, but here comes, that was Swavely. That just blew the doors off everybody. That happened so fast, I didn't even know what truck that was. A powerhouse move here out of the 32 of Richard Swavely. He caught up to those drivers very quickly and just drove around. Remember, he has 13 lap newer tires. And now Richard Swavely back on the point here on lap number 77. Looking through the field, as I mentioned, everybody's starting to spread out a little bit. As I say that, that's Garand to the bottom of Josh Barr. That's a 3-wide battle right there. Garand is going to take those spots, or at least get clear off into one. And that's Barber out front of that group. He has fallen all the way into third. Those older tires now starting to haunt Robert Barber. Montesi is going to squeeze around Garand. Barber's going to come down pit road. It also looks like Johnny, is that Johnny Barker? It is Johnny Barker down pit road for what will be the final service of the night. This will be telling. What do they come off pit road with? Did they save a set of tires, or did that first set, did that count as two? We're gonna find out here because this could get sporty. Barber we talked about that early pit and he was hoping for a bit of a green flag situation as Ritter now is going to be joined by Brandon Garand down pit road. This could play out to their favor. They've all got to stop for fuel, so maybe this is obviously that stop. But if you've got a set of stickers and 30 laps remaining, you've got enough time to run around up front. And Swavely's got to be thinking about that. What does he have in the bank? Because he's obviously got to stop one more time. So does he have enough to get it done here? Or is he going to have to come down pit road and then, well, he's obviously going to have to come down pit road, but does he have enough time to get back up to the point? Pit stops continuing. That's Campbell down pit road. Is joined by Mike Montesi. It looks like Jason Wiley is also there. Into the box, that's, down pit road's Josh Barr. Swavely looks slow here. I think he's going to come down pit road. He hits the transition. Oh, he's got to get that truck slowed up a little bit. Our leader's going to hit pit road here for the final time. Formosa is going to inherit the lead. Jatina back up to P2. Shannon Wood, Kevin Stone, Doug Sigmund, your top five. Let's go down here. Let's take a look. Where did Mr. Barber phase out here? It looks like he did have 4 tires in the pits. Robert Barber is going to come out 17, spent 15 seconds in the stop. That may be the story of the night if this all works out in the 83's favor. Kevin Stone's going to come down pit road. Formosa would love to see a caution come out right now. Up front on the point, Jatina back there as well. He would like to see this caution come out, be able to maybe get a free pit stop with some track position. Not really missing anything anywhere else. This is Jatina. That's a lap down truck. Who is that? Is that Ritter? I do believe it is. It is Steve Ritter working by Jatina. That is not for position. Troy Haynes going to come down pit road. We talked about what felt like about 35 seconds ago how quick these laps were going to click off. Well, guess what? They're going to come across the stripe here. I believe that's going to be 15 to go. Oh, I'm sorry, it's 25 to go, rather. I can't count for nothing here tonight. Jatina to the service or the attention of his crew. Shannon Wood's also going to come down pit road. The Shannon Wood fans in the chat still over on YouTube. They want to see him bring home a checkered flag. As Formosa's going to hit pit road. That's going to give the lead to Doug Sigmund. He may be able to lead him one here at Chicago. If he can just squeeze by Formosa, he's going to. New leader, Doug Sigmund at Chicago. Casey Duncan, he's been floating around that top 10 position most of the night. Qualified 17th, running second. He's not come down pit road yet. He'll have to do so here. He was last out lap number 58, so he's going to have to come to the attention of his crew before it's all said and done. Joe Hudson's going to come down pit road. You know, one of the things that I've seen or I've noticed with this group here tonight is I don't know if I've seen too many really standout penalties on pit road. A lot of these drivers are able to get these trucks slowed down, and that transition down there from banking to flat is not easy, and oftentimes you hit it just right, or you hit it not perfectly, it'll upset the truck and potentially get you loose there on the apron as Cogan comes down pit road. Or Cogan. Dustin, sorry about that. I think I do that every week. Right here, this transition right there. Oh, and that truck gets, he straddles it a little bit. I think he was a little nervous, but he's got it slowed up. Our leader, Doug Sigmund, down pit road. Casey Duncan is going to inherit the lead here. Lap number 89. So let's look through the running order. Swavely. He has those, oh, I'm sorry, no, that's Barber. Barber sitting in the lead right now. Once DeAndre Kane, Casey Duncan come down pit road. Barber looking pretty clean up front. Would love to bring home another trophy here. He's sitting with 1 win so far this season. Sitting leading the points. Last down pit road on lap number 78. So not necessarily older tires, but not the newest up here in this group as well. His next competition he's going to have to worry about is Steve Ritter, which is about, oh goodness, 1.2 seconds on back. Swavely's going to be on the move. Swavely's 1.8. This is what I was talking about when this all broke out of Swavely. He's not going to have, he couldn't spend too much time out there as Casey Duncan's going to hit pit road. But Richard Swavely could not sit out there too long because he does not want to, he's going to have to run down Barber already, because Barber's short pit. But now you've got to think this out, think this through a bit. You're going to have limited laps to get it done. A little bit of congestion back here for seconds. Ritter's going to move down. He's got to deal with this lap truck, but also he's got Swavely in the rear view. Swavely's going to ride right into the tire tracks, right on the bottom of the racetrack. Side by side, this is a battle for second. Brian Workman here not having a banner night. He is going to have to work through these drivers as well. They're going to work around him. Swavely gets around Ritter. Going to work around the Brian Workman machine. Now, Barber. He's got to be looking down there at that relative. Here working lap 95. He's got a 15 to go. But Richard Swavely. Swavely's got a run. 3/10. He's closed up in the last lap. That's a lap truck on the outside. That's not what Barber wanted to see. He's going to instead go deep down to the grass, hoping to hold off Swavely a little bit longer. He's going to move back up, jump in front of the toe a little bit. Barber's going to open the door to Swavely here. Leveraging that outside line to work the speed, but Richard Swavely stayed out 5 laps, and it's going to pay off. New leader, and back up front is our pole sitter, Richard Swavely. Looking a little further back here, this is Josh Barr, Brandon Garand, cruising right here in 4th and 5th. Then it's Formosa, Montesi side by side. That's 6th and 7th. Shannon Wood just sitting right here at 10th and really just kind of cruising. No point in pushing the issue too much. Johnny Barker, oh, he is stopped on the entrance of pit road. Not sure. Oh, and he's going to tow there. That's good. I did not want that to bring the caution out, and it won't. Swavely, meanwhile, out front, 0.7 of a second over Barber. Barber's under pressure from Ritter. Josh Barr would be the next truck in line, and he's down here coming into 3 right now. Whereas, so there's quite a bit of gap there. Ritter's gonna move up, push the 83 up high a little bit. There's not that many times we've seen Barber be on the outside through the tri-oval. Now these two title one another out of 3 and 4. Brian Workman's got a show in the windshield with some free admission. Ritter dives down to the bottom at 3 and 4. Gets that spot. Shuts the door on Barber. By the way, 10 to go here at Chicagoland. I had to do a double take and look at that lead. Richard Swavely at 32 Toyota Tundra. He has quickly pulled a 1.3, 1.4 second, 1.5 second gap over Steve Ritter. He has been on rails tonight, qualified on the pole, and really nobody's had some pace for him. We've seen him play the pit strategy pretty well, and is able to keep the tires underneath him. And man, he has pulled away from second place of Steve Ritter. We have also seen Steve Ritter run down Robert Barber during that previous run. Can he do it one more time with Swavely? One point, 1.6 seconds now. Ritter actually lost another 10th thereby. Looking through the rest of this top 10 field, you're not missing anything. Back here, Vincent Short. That is John Fowler. A little bit of a battle there for 13th. That's Doug Sigmund, Jason Wiley. Wiley's down 9 spots on the night. Not the result I suspect he would like to see. A little bit of a slower stop on pit road for the 13 Ram in the field. That truck looking pretty sharp. That was added to iRacing this week. Gonna be honest with you, if I was in a truck, I'd give it a saw. I'd give it a run. It looks pretty slick. That truck actually looks a little loose as well out there. Back up front, you're not missing anything. Swavely out there pretty much building his own zip code right now. Gonna work lap 104 here. I'm sorry, 105. Next time by will be 5 to go. 1.5 out front of Ritter. Formosa sitting in 3rd. Barber has fallen back to 4th. He's got Josh Barr only 0.6 of a second back behind him. He wants to try to hold off Barr as much as he possibly can. Remember, Barber only had a very small, I believe it was less than 5 points in the lead there on standings. So he does not want to lose too many spots here. Meanwhile, Steve Ritter is having a really solid night. I think as they run right now, I think Ritter would be within 1 point of Robert Barber. We'll see how that all shakes out obviously once the race finalizes here. But this is going to be, if he can get the door, if he can wrap this up. As he comes across the stripe, 4 to go. Richard Swavely had a pretty good run in the points last week. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, yeah, he's had a decent run, but the results just have not netted standings. He lost a spot last week, sitting in 7th. And just 35 points off of Barber. Comes across the stripe here. No pressure out back. Almost a 2-second gap. And you're seeing that right. 3 laps to go here at Chicago. Formosa was able to work around Ritter here. Not a bad night for Formosa. He's up 8 spots on the qualifying effort. Swavely goes by the stripe here, 2 to go. Down this brand backstretch, off into 3 and 4. Jatina has worked himself back up to that 6th place position. Barr is to the bumper of Barber. He's going to try to get that spot done. Meanwhile, the white flag is out one more time around for the NC811.org Limited Series. What a run here tonight at Chicago with this group. Pit strategy, caution, track position, all factors. But Richard Swavely came into tonight. 3 top 10s, 3 top 5s, and now 2 wins on the season. Your first repeat winner of the year, well, of the season rather. Richard Swavely brings it home here in Chicago. Scott Formosa is going to finish 2nd here tonight. Ritter is going to finish 3rd. Robert Barber saves a 4th place finish. Josh Barr 5th. Joey Jatina 6th. Mike Montesi, Brandon Garan, Shannon Woods going to finish 9th, and Glenn Campbell 10th as they wrap it up here in Chicago. We're going to step aside. We'll talk to our race winner and a couple others right after this. You're watching Turn 1. Swavely's going to continue to burn it down on the front stretch here. We'll really quickly talk to Steve Ritter. Steve, congratulations, a top 2 here tonight. That truck looked really quick most of the evening here at Chicago. This has got to feel good with a decent position in the points coming out here with the top 3.
Yeah, definitely. Just keep shooting for those top 5s to stay up in the points. I think we were 3 behind Robert going into this, and I think it was a wash tonight because he got the most laps led, and I don't even think I got a lap led. So, but just staying tight with him, that's all we're trying to do.
Going into next week, obviously Daytona is a crapshoot, Steve, as you know that with super speedway racing. What's your thoughts going into it? No, we're past the halfway point here now, and it's time to really focus on the hunt here.
Yeah, as a great man once said, fill the place up with water and make it a bass pond.
I forgot you say that about Daytona. That's right.
I am not a fan of speedway racing. I don't do horrible at it. I don't know. There's just something about it. But yeah, it's a crapshoot. So we'll see what happens. Just bide our time, try to be there at the end like you always are, and have a shot for the win.
Steve Ritter walking out of the Windy City with a top 3 and a solid points night here in Chicago. Steve, thanks for the time.
Thanks, Sean. Have a good night.
2. And with that, we will quickly talk to Scott Formosa. Scott, congratulations. I'll tell you what, every time I looked up, that 80 truck was in a fight somewhere. I feel like you fought with somebody almost every other lap tonight. How did that feel from your perspective? Walk me through your evening.
Oh, it was really a good evening, man. I was patient all night long, and the long run, man, my truck really hooked up on that long run. And finally, the last few weeks, I have gotten caught up in more messes, and I've been fast, but finally tonight it shows. I feel like I can run with these guys, but I got to be there at the end, and finally today I was.
We saw tires really be a factor here, about 10, 15 laps, and we saw, second and a half fall off. Scott, was there at any point here tonight, did you come into it with a thought to save anywhere, or was that, what was your strategy coming in, and how do those cautions influence that here?
I definitely saved a little bit. Cautions helped, or I don't know. Cautions really didn't do a whole lot, but I did save. But I ran it hard too at times. I would save at times, so it was a little both, save, But man, what a finish! I mean, that was fun. I knew I couldn't run Richard down right there at the end. I think I kind of got him a little hot, just getting to second.
Yeah, it looked like you had a fast piece there, just running out of laps. Scott, I'll ask you the same thing Steve did. He wanted to fill Daytona up with water and make it a bass pond. What's your feelings going into a super speedway next week under the lights here with the NC811.org limited series? What's your thought going into that? Is any part of that give you any confidence, or is it just we'll see how it turns up?
Where is it we run?
Daytona next Thursday.
That's just a crapshoot. I'm not really a big fan of that, but I'll run it. I'll try to stay out of trouble, but trouble always finds me at Daytona.
Well, that's 2 for 2 in post-race interviews where they want to fill it up with water and make it a bass pond. Scott, thanks for the time tonight. Congratulations on the top 2. And like I said, you've been fast, so hopefully we get to talk to you again here real soon.
All right, appreciate it. I want to thank NC811, Call Before You Dig, my sponsor, Sir Pizza, my painter, Alan Marshall, over there at Speed Kings, and you guys for doing what you do.
Yeah, thanks, Scott. Appreciate it. Have a great night.
Thank you.
And with that, we will talk to race winner, the man, the myth, the legend, the first driver of this season to bring home a repeat win, Richard Swavely. Richard, first of all, congratulations. It's been it was 9 races, 9 different winners. I didn't know how long that could last. You broke the record here tonight. That's got to feel pretty good, considering just how incredibly fast you were here.
I don't know if I'm just in a mood or something, but I feel like the last couple of weeks I've been kind of stifled a little bit. So I was driving a little angry tonight. I don't know if it showed on the broadcast, but I was kind of, I had it set in stone. It was I was going to do some work, if you will, behind the wheel tonight, and it definitely paid off.
So I guess what I hear you saying is we got to get you a little peeved every Thursday night and watch you run away with the checker flags here.
Yeah, I mean, like, I know when we did my interview for, I can't remember which race I won last. I think it was, no, I can't remember. But no, I remember during the interview I mentioned that Dover's a track I always kind of double, triple circle on the schedule, and I was I was very, very upset with how last week went. So yeah, I was driving with intent tonight.
Choosing his words carefully, Richard Swavely bringing home the checkered flag here at Chicago. Richard, I'll ask you just the same question I've asked everybody else here this evening. We head off into Daytona. You'll be off a win. This will be a really good points night for you. I think you're about 33 back at the beginning of the race. What is your thoughts going into next week? Are you of the mindset to fill the place up with water and make it a bass pond, or do you feel like you got a piece and ready to go try something under the lights?
See, I'm actually at some point I'm gonna put a shirt that says that on my website. But with the super speedways, I do pretty well at them. It's one of those things. I mean, I'm proficient at them. I just don't like doing them. I don't like racing where the end result is dependent on the 36 other drivers. I like to be a little more in control of my fate, if you will. But no, I'll probably be pretty smart with that because I know I'm sitting pretty good in points. So I'll probably be well behaved until probably like last 5 laps, and I'll see what I can get out of last 5 laps at the end. But I do know after Daytona, I'm a big fan of Charlotte. That's one of my favorite intermediates. And Darlington, if I can keep it from too many Darlington straps, I like racing there. So definitely looking forward to the next little run we got going.
Well, you came into tonight. I believe you were sitting 7th. You are now 5th, 28 points back. So congratulations on the win here, as long as that sticks, no penalties. But congratulations on the win here. Our first repeat winner of this season. Richard, is there anybody you want to thank?
Yeah, of course. I want to thank Heavy's High Fidelity Audio. Got them on my truck here. I always have my Heavy's headset on. Of course, you for doing the broadcast, and Joey for putting up with all of us silly drivers on a weekly basis and hosting these for us.
Richard Swavely, your winner here at Chicago. Richard, thanks for the time.
Thank you.
And with that, we'll wrap up race coverage. Another race in the books for the NC811.org limited series here. What a great run. Finally, a repeat winner in this group. 10 races, 9 winners. And I didn't know that streak. I came into tonight, I genuinely didn't know if we were going to see another one or not. And Richard Swavely put a finale to that. Anyhow, back to what we were talking about at Daytona. Next Thursday night, 8 Eastern, 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central. We'll do the same thing. By the way, if you liked seeing the last 10 minutes or so of last week's race, at the beginning of this race, we're going to do it again at Daytona next week, so make sure you get tuned in a little extra early. On behalf of the league admins, I'm Sean Fitz. I appreciate you for being here. And then, yeah, we'll see you next Thursday night for more racing action here. Good night, everybody. Bye-bye.